Hey, welcome back to Juke's Joint. I'm your host, Greg Juke, and you are tuned to the CD Snagger, a relatively new feature on the channel that is dedicated entirely to CD and digital music as opposed to vinyl. We decided it was best to kind of separate those two things and give some complete and dedicated attention to CDs. So that's what you're going to find right here. If you like CD music, if you like collecting CDs, if you find that there's some titles that you can't get on vinyl or other formats that you can find on CD, and there's quite a few of them, this is the place for you. And I did pick up a mess of CDs between the last episode that was posted and today, which has been several months. So I wanted to show you some really nice stuff that I got for the collection, and we'll talk through some of that. And as always, listen to some music here on Juke's Joint. Stay tuned. First up, Music for All Occasions by the Mavericks. This is a really fine record, and it's the second release from, I believe it's the second release from the Mavericks. I have their first album. I've been a fan for quite a few years. I was hipped to them by an ABC special they did years ago, and I've seen them in Raul Malo in other contexts, and I love the band. Great music, and very, very poppy and catchy, but also very tied to traditional Nashville country. Great musicians, great stuff. So I was very happy to get that for the used price that you see there. A couple of offerings in the ska/reggae category. This is a group from England called the House of Rhythm. A couple of reggae tracks, mostly up-tempo ska in a different style is the name of the recording. And a really fine group, well produced. I really like this one a lot. And also a nice compilation I picked up. And I don't like when they do, when the marketing department or the graphic department does very stereotypical things like this. But this is called Masters of Reggae. And it's got some great classic artists on it. Bob Marley and Peter Tosh and the Wailers. U-Roy, the Upsetters, Roman Stewart, the Black Arcs, Brad Osborne, some great stuff on here. Lee Scratch Perry, some very interesting older classics that you might not necessarily find on other compilations. And that one is called Masters of Reggae. In the blues, R&B, doo-wop, soul category, the Five Royales with Willie Mitchell and his band, Take Me With You, Baby, and some other great classics on this recording. And there's a look at the song list. Some really nice older recordings of the Five Royales on here. Some great stuff. And if you're not hip to them, check out the Five Royales. See what you can do to find some music from them on YouTube or Spotify or elsewhere. James Harmon, blues harpist extraordinaire. The James Harmon Band, and a recording called Black and White on the Blacktop label. And there was a couple at the store. I'm probably going to go back and get some more of them. I wasn't super familiar with James Harmon, had heard the name, but I really like their sound. Pretty raw and just very well done. And Johnny Otis presents the best of R&B. This looks like some re-recordings of some older artists who came back to do a little reprise of some of their hits. Joe Liggins, Charles Brown, Louis Jordan, Johnny Otis, among others here. Nice collection. And this is on the Laser Light label. And if you can find it, grab it. Are you ready for the Cavalcade of Jazz? Many various artists and recordings, all under the banner of America's wonderful jazz music. Let's go! Eric Dolphy, Iron Man. This is a very interesting recording. And, if you're familiar with Eric Dolphy, you know he was quite a character. And it's got some interesting song titles there. Burning Spear. I have no idea if the Jamaican artist heard this tune at some point in his life before deciding to call himself Burning Spear. Tenor Conclave is a recording that I used to spin on vinyl all the time on my old jazz radio program many years ago. Hank Mobley, Al Cohn, the inimitable John Coltrane, and Zoot Sims all together in one place, originally on the Prestige label. It's a wonderful record, really, really nice. Jerry Gonzalez and the Fort Apache Band. I had the good fortune of hearing Jerry Gonzalez play trumpet and congas, and actually do a master class with him before he passed. And I always wanted to get down to New York to take some lessons directly from him. Great player, really nice guy. Sad that he is gone, but I did find a couple of his recordings recently and grabbed this one, Fire Dance. Philly Joe Jones, the master of bebop drumming, the place where a lot of today's sounds can be traced back to, and this has some great players on it: Blue Mitchell, Harold Land, Slide Hampton, Cedar Walton, Charles Bowen, and Mark Johnson. So I'm guessing, I've forgotten, I'm not going to turn this one over, but I think this is probably from the 80s, but really a nice recording featuring the wonderful Philly Joe Jones. Johnny Hartman, one of my favorite song stylists, and this is, I just dropped by to say hello. Johnny Hartman on Impulse, and just, you know, the classic sound of Johnny Hartman with some great tunes. Mancini and Mercer and many more, Harold Arlen, just some great stuff. Speaking of incredible jazz vocalists, we have Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong together on Ella and Louis Again, originally on the Verve label. This is a 2 CD set, and it's got some great material from both of them. A few songs that they do separately, but mostly duets on this wonderful recording, and I got it for $1. Come on, man, you can't pass that up. This is one of those Putumayo collections that I really love. I've got a whole mess of them, and this one is New Orleans, so mostly jazz, some blues, some other things on there, but yeah, some wonderful artists. There's Louis Again, Dr. John, Doc Cheatham, and many more. Preservation Hall Jazz Band, and it's just all New Orleans music. And I haven't gotten into the enhanced CD portion yet, but apparently you can view some videos and do some things like that on your computer. One of my favorite artists of all time, John Coltrane, the Complete Graz Concert. This was a 3 CD set, and I just wound up finding disc 2 all by itself for $1. So now I'm going to have to see if I can fish out the other 2 discs at some point. But of course, anything John Coltrane that I don't have in my collection, or that I have on vinyl and I don't have on CD or vice versa, you know I'm going to be grabbing that. So John Coltrane, had to pick it up. Time for some classic Blue Note. Dexter Gordon, Dexter Calling, Kenny Drew, Paul Chambers, Philly Joe Jones, all together on this recording, and it's one of the Dexter Gordon and Blue Note classics, and $6, come on, well worth it. So I grabbed it. When Joel Dorn had his 32 Jazz record label, he often put out some very interesting things that you would not see on other labels. I was not familiar with this supergroup, really, or this recording, but this is called Live at Sandy's, and it's Ray Bryant, Arnett Cobb, Alan Dawson. You do not see or hear enough recordings with Alan Dawson on them. He was primarily known as a teacher in Boston, but loved listening to his drumming, and what a wonderful player who taught Tony Williams. So that gives you some idea of his credentials. George Duvivier, Buddy Tate, Eddie Cleanhead Vincent, all together, Live at Sandy's, great recording, and for under $10, sure, I grabbed it. So let's go out with 2 classics, Ella and Louis, and a wonderful recording, Ella and Louis Again on the Verve label, and we're going to listen to something called They All Laughed, a great recording of 2 wonderful jazz musicians together again, and that ends our time together, but we will see you again soon here at Juke's Joint and on the CD Snagger. Bye-bye.
The odds were 100-1 against me. The world thought the heights were too high to climb. But people from Missouri never incensed me. Oh, I wasn't a bit concerned. Far from history I had learned how many times the one had turned my Mademoiselle. They all laughed at Christopher Columbus when he said the world was round. They all laughed when Edison recorded sound. They all laughed at Wilbur and his brother when they said that man could fly. They told Marconi wireless was a phony. It's the same old cry. They laughed at me, warning you. Said I was reaching for the moon, but oh, you came through. Now they'll have to change their tune, yes. They all said we never could be happy. They laughed at us in how. But oh, 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 who's got the last laugh now? Take it.
They all laughed at Rockefeller Center. Now they're fighting to get in. They all laughed at Whitney and his cotton gin. They all laughed at Fulton and his steamboat, Hershey and his chocolate bar. Ford and his Lizzie kept the laughers busy. That's how people are. They laughed at me, wanting you. Said it would be hello, goodbye, but oh, you came through. Now they're eating humble pie. They all said we'd never get together. Darling, let's take a bow. For ha ha ha, who's got the last laugh now? They laughed at me, warning you. Said it would be hello, goodbye, but oh, you came through. Now they're eating humble pie. They all said we'd never get together. Darling, let's take a bow.
Oh, yes.
Oh, ho, 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 who's got the last laugh?
Let's pass laugh. Oh, oh, oh. Who's got the last laugh